My presentation showing the development of football through the history of time. The first sort of game to resemble anything like football was in 300 BC in China, where they kicked a ball through a hoop, and this was called kuju. And then as more people got familiar with the sport, whole villages used to play a game of mass football, which would involve hundreds, nearly thousands of people and span over miles from our villages. As there were so many people involved in the mass games, it would be quite hard to keep control over. So it would be rather aggressive, and some people died actually playing it. And then the Industrial Revolution came along in 1760 to 1820, which affected the sport massively as transport improved, meaning more people could play the games as they could get around. And it also affected the amount of time people could spend playing the sport, as because there was more jobs, people were working more, which means they had less time to play. And then in 1875, first proper club was formed, which was Sheffield, and first set of rules about the game was set. So keeping score, penalties, and actual goals themselves. And then in 1846, the Factory Act was brought in, which meant people had to work set hours, allowing them more free time, which meant people could play football more. In 1863, the FA was formed, which sort of overlooked all the rules and sort of set everything new for the sport. In 1877, a time limit was set for the game, so they played 90 minutes in two halves of 45 instead of just continuous play. In 1888, the first league format was brought in, meaning a bunch of teams would be put into a league. They'd all play each other a set amount of times, and points would be given for win, loss or draw. And then in 1904, FIFA was formed, which is sort of similar to the FA, it's another football organisation, along with the PFA, which is the Players Football Association. So if they've got any problems or anything, they'd go to their association to sort stuff out. In 1914 to 1918 was the First World War, which affected the amount of football that was played because all the men had to go off to fight the war, which meant women would have to do the men's jobs at home, and they sort of took over and played the sport themselves, as it was something that the men would do at the time. In 1930 was the first World Cup, where countries from all around the world went to Uruguay, which was the first country to host the World Cup, and they also won it. In 1955 was the start of the European Championships. Because transport and stuff like that had improved more, countries could play teams, or teams from other countries could play all around the world, which was the start of the European Championships. In 1966, England won the World Cup, for the first and last time at the minute. And then from there, there's some disasters which affected grounds and the way people travel to and from matches. There's the Ibrox disaster, where there was 25 deaths and 517 people injured. There was the Bradford fire, where Bradford played Lincoln, where 56 people died and 265 were injured. And then there was the Hillsborough disaster, where I'm not sure what the numbers exactly, but a lot of people died due to overcrowding in the stadium, which brought in new rules allowing how people got into the ground with tickets, etc. And making sure people were seated and not all cramped into a small confined space. The Bradford fire was because the structure of the ground was made from wood, which obviously sets on fire if it comes in touch with the flame. And then that brought through new laws where they had to make war, that the grounds were made of stronger equipment really to stop stuff like this from happening. In 1992,
Martin to reception, please. That's Martin to reception.
In 1992 was the start of the Premier League, which is the first league in England and is widely renowned as the best league in the world. In 2002, it was the first World Cup in Asia. More modern stuff. In 2014, vanishing spray was introduced to make sure that the players are the correct distance away from the ball when a free kick is being taken. In 2010, the Ballon d'Or was introduced, which is sort of the best player in the world award. And then, yeah, that's sort of it really, what I've got on the timeline.
Any other organisations you think of?
The League Managers Association.
Martin to reception, please.
The League Managers Association, so similar to the Players Football Association, if they've got any problems or anything, or stuff like that, that's who they go to. And then there's one for the referees as well, which is the Referees Association.
Yep, brill. Superb. Right. Thought you presented really, really well. You come across well. It'd been good to see a bit more information on your slides,
Yeah.
rather than just a timeline.
Yeah.
Maybe come up with some more like dates and pictures and stuff. But the info you got there is really, really good. You've clearly shown that you understand where the war, the Industrial Revolution came in, and some of the organisations. A development point and something that went good. You tell me. So what went well?
I believe I spoke well about it. I think I could have improved my slides and had a bit more information. Instead of just a blank timeline, I could have had some pictures and maybe some slides describing the events themselves.
Yeah, but other than that, well done. Really good stuff.